It was early February. A bitter wind swept over the hills of Iping, and snow fell steadily upon the earth. Through this storm came a strange figure, wrapped head to foot in thick clothing. His hat was pulled low, his face entirely concealed by dark blue spectacles and a scarf that covered even his mouth. He walked alone, carrying a single black portmanteau. When he reached the Coach and Horses Inn, he burst through the door, nearly frozen. "A fire!" he cried. "In the name of human charity, a room and a fire!" Mrs. Hall, the innkeeper, stared in surprise. A guest in the dead of winter, and one who paid in gold? She hurried to light the fire and prepare him food. Yet something about this man unsettled her. He refused to remove his coat, his hat, even his gloves. When she offered to dry his clothing, he simply turned his head and said, "I prefer to keep them on." She noticed the odd bandages wrapped around his head, the glint of his spectacles, the pink tip of his nose, the only part of his face that showed. As she served his food, he ate silently, keeping a white cloth over his mouth the entire time. And when she re-entered with mustard, she thought, just for a moment, that she saw him hiding something beneath the table. His clothes now hung by the fire, but his head remained tightly bound. Who was this man? Why did he keep himself hidden? And what exactly had he brought with him to Iping? That evening, as snow fell thicker, the clock repairman, Mr. Teddy Henfrey, arrived at the inn. Mrs. Hall, still pondering her unusual guest, invited Teddy to fix the parlor clock. "And while you're there," she added, "have a look at the stranger." When Teddy entered the room, the man was seated by the fire, bandaged head tilted downward, blue goggles reflecting the flame. He seemed to be dozing, but when Mrs. Hall spoke, he stirred, slowly lifting his head and covering his mouth once again. Teddy set to work. He removed the face of the clock, adjusted the hands, but could feel the man's eyes on him. Heavy silence hung in the air. Teddy glanced up. The stranger stood still, like a statue, watching. Finally, Teddy tried to break the tension. "Cold weather for this time of year, wouldn't you say?" The stranger snapped. "Why don't you finish and go?" Teddy mumbled an apology and left, muttering to himself. Outside, in the snowy road, he ran into Mr. Hall and told him everything. "He's wrapped up like a corpse," Teddy said. "Not a bit of skin to be seen, not even his name." Mr. Hall, now suspicious, decided to keep an eye on the man and instructed his wife to inspect the stranger's luggage when it arrived. That night, Mrs. Hall dreamed of ghostly white faces with bulging black eyes. But dreams were one thing. The truth. The next morning, the stranger's luggage arrived. More than just trunks and bags, there were boxes, crates, cases, dozens of them. Bottles clinked from inside. Mr. Fearnside, who delivered the goods, brought along his dog. As the stranger rushed out to inspect his crates, the dog growled and then attacked. It tore through the stranger's trousers, biting into his leg. Mr. Fearnside beat the animal back, but not before catching a glimpse of something strange. Beneath the torn fabric, the man's skin wasn't pink. It was black, pitch black. The stranger didn't speak. He ran upstairs and slammed the door. Later, Mr. Hall entered the room uninvited and was thrown violently back. He saw something. A disjointed arm, a ghostly blur. He couldn't be sure. Downstairs, the stranger tore open crate after crate. The parlor became a laboratory. Shelves were lined with bottles, blue bottles marked poison, clear ones filled with powders, oils, fluids, and strange chemicals. Test tubes, balances, vials, labeled notes. He worked feverishly, ignoring the mess. When Mrs. Hall brought him dinner, he snapped at her. "Put it on the bill." Then came a crash. Glass shattered. A bottle exploded against the wall. He began pacing, ranting to himself. 300,000, Cheated, patience, fool. That night, in a nearby tavern, Fear Inside whispered to Teddy Henfrey. I saw his skin, not pink, not white, black as soot. He leaned closer. He's a piebald, black and white, patched like a horse. That's why he hides. But the truth was far more terrifying than even that. The vicar's robbery. Dawn breaks over Iping. The vicar and his wife stir, hearing faint creaks below. They exchange nervous glances and slip from bed. Discovering the empty room. In the study, the door hangs open, papers flutter, coins are gone, yet no one is there, only silence and the cold morning light. Invisible thief escape. A chair moves on its own, the door creaks open. The vicar feels a rush of cold air as something unseen brushes past him into the snow. Villagers react. Outside, the vicar shouts, pointing to fresh footprints appearing on their own in the snow. Villagers gather, fearful, whispering of dark magic. Mr. Bunting and Cuss investigate. Night falls. In the inn, Bunting and Cuss sneak into the stranger's room. Bottles glint in the firelight. They whisper, rifling papers. Sudden return. Suddenly, a door slams below. Footsteps climb the stairs. Bunting and Cuss freeze. The stranger is back. His voice snarls from the hallway. Invisible attack. The air chills. Papers fly. An unseen force grips them. They stumble backward, terror in their eyes, as an invisible hand lashes out. Escape to the village. They flee into the night, snow swirling around them. They gasp warnings to the villagers. The stranger's fury echoes behind them in the dark. If you enjoyed our story, don't forget to leave a comment, share it with your friends and subscribe. Have fun, and we'll see you again soon. Bye.